Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Cryptic TMG, and today I've got a video that I'm sure a lot of people have been waiting for. I'm going to do a bit on car tuning and car setup for the Audi Ultra around the Zhuhai International Circuit. So yeah, this is my first installment of setup videos. I will be doing more, particularly for the GT3s at the moment, because those are my favorite cars. That's the cars I've been using. So yeah, let's get stuck into this and let's see what we can do and see how fast we can get you guys going. Now the Audi is a very quick car, but it does take some tuning because compared to, like, the Z4, the Z4 is a really nice handling car. Same in the McLaren. The Audi is a little bit more sketchy, but it definitely does have the speed to compete with them cars. And I know a lot of people online prefer the Z4, but I'm going to show you how to get the Audi working just as fast or even faster than the Z4 and the McLaren. So yeah, first I'm going to go switch the tyre compounds to slick. Always make sure it's slick. And front tyre pressures I'll have on 205 and 204, and that for reasoning because of certain corners you want not all the tyre pressures to be the same. Sometimes if you've got certain corners on the track, you need to switch your tyre pressures. Even the fronts can be a little different, not too different, but they can be a little different. So you see there I've got my front tyre pressures different. With the brake pressure, I normally run between 90 and 100, especially for this car because it really just struggles to slow down. With the brake ducts, I have them on 40. I have them a little bit more closed because it creates drag the more open they are. So traction slip, that depends if you use traction control, but generally if you do use traction control, I'd say probably put it on about 10, which should give you a good balance. Downforce, I like to run nothing on the front, nothing on the front at all, and on the rear, just have it a little bit higher than the front, just so it gives you that, a little bit more direction when you turn into corners, your back end sticks and you still have the speed down the straights. But that's just my personal preference. A lot of people might want to knock that up. Steering ratio I keep almost dead central because I don't like to change that too much, as at the moment I am on a pad. But with the camber levels, I mean, they're quite important. You always want more front camber than more rear camber, and it gives you a lot more grip the more camber you have, but it also can wear your tires. Now skipping through to ride height, I always have my front ride height as low as possible, especially in this car because it's not as low to the ground as the McLaren, for instance. I normally have about 10 millimeters difference between the front and the rear in terms of ride height, and yeah, that's basically how I always run my ride height. Spring stiffness, if you have the front stiff, you have to have the rear softer, and that's just something that I seem to have picked up in most car setups. You always see the front spring stiffness is a lot stiffer than the rear. Always have your rear sway bar either at most level, but always have it higher than the front sway bar. I don't know why, I was just told that having your rear sway bar stiffer than the front is the way to go. So normally for me, I have it stiffer or at the very least at the same level. Now with the soft bump, and I mean for the dampers, which is quite important, if you start off with your front bump stop higher than your rear, then you have to continue that pattern all the way down. Now when you see, when I scroll through, at the front is always stiffer than the rear all the way down the damper, so you need to follow the same pattern. If you've gone the other way around and have a stiffer rear than front, you need to follow that pattern all the way down, because otherwise your car will become unbalanced and it will be pretty hard to drive in the end. So yeah, that's basically what you need to do. Always make sure, whichever way you've gone, if the front stiffer, make sure you follow that pattern all the way and all through the soft rebounds, fast rebounds and whatnot. And yeah, that's basically what I like to do on setup with the limited acceleration slip. I have that between 40 and 25 normally. I don't really try to go above 40 because otherwise it just, for me, just makes the car slower. Limited deceleration, that depends on how much your back end steps out. So I have mine at 35 because with 2.5 on the rear downforce, it's quite stable under braking. The radiator you want as closed as possible because once again that it makes you a lot faster, but obviously if you're doing an endurance race and your radiator is closed, you may incur damage or you may blow your engine, so be careful of that. With the gears, I hardly ever run acceleration, especially in this Audi, because it only has 3 real gear selections. It's got acceleration in the middle and top speed, and I just run mine in the middle. Obviously if certain tracks like Spa, you might want to run top speed, or if there's tracks like Monaco, you might want to run just an acceleration, but for me I always keep it in the middle. And obviously fuel, I mean, that's personal preference, but I will say with the brake mapping, I generally try to keep it in the middle, but obviously running it lower gives your car a lot more maneuverability, so it's always better to have it either in the middle or as low as possible. But at the same time, with the restrictor, you always have that right to the top, because if you don't, it actually restricts power to your engine, so you always have that right at the top. But yeah, that's been the setup for the Audi Ultra LMS R8, and yeah, I'm gonna go on track and let's give this setup a try and see how fast we can go.